So the Packers won the Super Bowl the year before last, and the Packers came last year. Great accomplishments up there. We think that the Packers, when we talk to other coaches in the league, and even ourselves, we have taken the Packer film and get all the games of all the teams. And we've cut out all the screens and all the draws that they've run for the last 2 years. We have them on a couple of reels, so we can study them, you know what I mean? We can pick his brain. This is going to be a great session on screens and draws from Lovat, the offensive line coach from the Packers.
Thank you, Bob. What we'll do here is we'll take the screens first, and I've got a number of them, and if it takes all the time, we probably won't get to the draws. Most of these screens were in 1994 when we were a very good screen team. As we've gotten smarter and overcoached it, we've gotten not as good with the screens. But in 92, we decided we were going to be a good screen team, so in 93, the off-season, we studied it hard and started to implement it. And in our study, we found that there are some consistent components to every screen. It doesn't matter what you do down the field or what patterns or what schemes you come out of, there's a consistency in certain parts of the screen that will fit every screen. So what I'll do is I'll flash this up. I don't know if you can see this very well from back there. I'll go through it a little bit like Dick did, but these are the line coaching points that we go through with our team when we implement our screens. Now, all of our screens are run on a 1001, 1000 go. It's not a 3-count screen. Basically, what we tell our guys is you engage the defender like you're going to block him on whatever the play that's called is called. So it's like ours would be 22 Texas. If you've got 22 Texas, the set you would take on that play, you take on the screen. Okay, now this timing becomes more of you do it with repetitions rather than with counts. Okay, so we don't, because everybody counts different. 1001, 1002, 1003 go. Left guard goes, center's late. Right guard, he can't count, so he can't get out. The back, his route's all screwed up. So what we say is we're going to rep it, we're going to practice it, and this timing becomes one where you don't count. It's a hit, you got a feel, you go, and the screen works. Now, to do that, and I'll go through these coaching points as we go, everybody has to be on the same page. In other words, there are some reference points that we give our back, as well as the lead guard or the center if he overlaps the guard, and these are things we live by. First thing is the onside tackle. Let's say it's a screen to the left. The screen that is called, he's going to take the set on the defensive end based on where that guy lines up on it. The old adage is pop your head back, bring him up the field, 7 yards, cut him. Well, what happens if he's going to take an inside on you or run an ET? That set doesn't work. So he's going to set on him just like he would if he was going to take him on whatever route was called, and then whir him up the field. If the guy isn't running up the field, try to get him to a point of 7 yards of depth, then get his hands down by cutting. Now, if they run an ET, obviously he's going to pin that in, and we're going to come outside of that end. But what we would like to have happen is get the defensive rusher up the field far enough so that the back and the guard can come underneath without any entanglements. That's key to that tackle. Now, the common fault of the tackle that's setting to the play side. Number one, he cuts too early. He gets excited, he cuts too early, causes an entanglement, the back doesn't get out. That's the number one fault. Now, the mid-season of this year, we weren't running screens very well. We broke it down. That was probably the number one thing of all screens was the tackle cutting too early. Now, there will be a time when he won't even cut him. If he can run him up the field and we can get underneath it, then we tell him that's fine. Okay? So that's the big thing. Get the hands down, get the man up the field. All right, the on guard. All right, let's say it's the left guard with the left tackle. Same deal with him. He's going to set on the defender like he would set if we were throwing down the field. So if he's got a wide 3 technique, we want to set off on it, absorb the 3, turn it away from the screen, and then release. Will be the lead guy out. Now, the thing he's looking at is that onside, inside back for Keith. As he sets on that three, he eyeballs the backer. If the backer squats, that probably means it's man protection. He's going to go blocking right now. Now, in college, you guys can be down the field, so that's a big asset for you guys. We can't be down the field. Now, he'll hit, he'll extend, eyeball the backer. If the backer's in man coverage, he goes and blocks. If the backer's dropping into coverage, he makes a beeline behind the line of scrimmage. Okay? And his reference point, and I'll show you a diagram here in a minute, are the numbers. He will not go past the numbers. Anything that would intersect him on the way to the numbers, he's going to kick it out like a trap. If he gets to the numbers and nothing shows, he's going to get vertical. He's going to go north and south. The theory being here is if I go north and south and the corner's still out there, he's got to come through me to get to the back. Okay? The other coaching point is, as I come out there as a guard, all I see is who the force is. I don't know where my back is. I got an idea where he is. But that corner sees me, he sees the back. So he can make me miss, or if I slow down, he can juke me and get to the back. The back sees me in the corner. So he can set that corner up for whoever the force is for my block. So I just run. It's like Paul was saying on your outside bounce play. You can't screw around with those corners out there because they're 180 and you're 300 and you're going to go out there and play basketball and then work. You got to run through them. So the guard, that's his first rule. Now, if he gets tangled up, if they run a stunt, then of course the center is going to replace it. Now, if you're uncovered as the guard, now here's where that timing I talked about comes into effect. You're going to set back to the tackle so that you can get close to where you got to go. All right? Now, it's kind of a count system there. You're going to eyeball that backer, and then you're going to lead. Now, you're the key because the back's going to come out just slightly behind you. Okay? Now, once you get your coverage key, then it's on to the numbers. All right? The center, same deal. He's going to...
One question. On the three technique, when you release, do you tell him to release the guard in front of him, behind him, best release? You jam him and you're timing the release. How do you get rid of it?
We're trying to turn him away from the screen, which means that we're going to get between him and the back. Now, that doesn't always work. You know as well as I do. That guy, a lot of times, if it's a three technique that can't rush the goddamn pass right away, he'll stay there with you, and he'll try to grab your back. So, but what we're trying to do is release him away from the screen. Now, the center, same deal. He's going to take a set based on what's on him. If he's covered, he's going to take the play side away from the nose, and his backside guard's going to slip in behind him and eventually take over the nose tackle. If he's uncovered, he's going to set to the guard so he can get out, just like the guard to his side. Okay? As soon as the guard leaves, he leaves. Okay? Timing should be hit, extend, go. So it's 1,001, 1,000 go, basically. But you're going to hit. Now, one of the things we saw when we studied the screen was they're blocked too well. In other words, the head coach is always saying, well, why don't you block the goddamn pass like you block the screen? Because you're blocking so hard you can't get out. Well, what we're finding is hit, extend, get your ass out. Okay, now, here's where the overcoaching comes in. One time you run it, you're out too fast. Next time you run it, you're out too slow. Head coach is on your ass, coordinator's on your ass. They say, hey, forget it. Stay with the timing, and eventually this thing will work. Don't overcoach it. Don't slow the guard down so the center gets out. Don't slow the center down so the back gets out. Just run it with that timing. And the more we look at it, the more that works for us. Okay, now if the center, on his way out, has the lead guard in front of him, he's using the numbers as his reference too. And he comes down, if the kick out's there, he gets vertical on the numbers, and he's got the seal. So he's going to seal everything, and you got a little bit of a lane that back's going to run down. If the guard gets hung up and the center's out, he runs to the number. Now he's the kick out. That's your replacement. Now the guard slows down. He's slowed down because of the stun or whatever. He comes out second. He does what the center does. Okay. Now the third guy, the backside guard, takes the same set. If he's got a 3 on him, he's going to set back. Bang the 3. Now, this guy's going to slow down just a tad. He's not going to come out quite as fast because in theory, you want your center to drop back 4 to stop, and then continue to retreat and throw the ball. That's theory. If you watch our guy, the thing that makes him a good screen quarterback is he looks like he's having his ass chased, and he can throw it that way. So, there's two schools of thought there. But initially, you want that backside guard to set, slow the rusher down so the quarterback's got time to set his feet. Now he comes out. If there's a nose tackle and he's uncovered, as soon as that center takes the play side away, he slips in behind the center and takes that nose tackle, who a lot of times is the trail man on the screen. If he feels pressure from that nose tackle, he just stays there and blocks it, because that's the guy that'll make the play anyway. If the nose tackle continues on up the field, he comes out. Now I'll show you the diagram, but what he does is he comes out to the position slightly outside of where the left tackle lined up, and he looks back inside. The good ends that have been chopped a lot of times get up and make the screen play. So he's coming around there to make sure that doesn't happen. If it's clean and he comes out, he wheels back inside, now he seals everything backside. So you got the center running down the numbers, the guard is kicked on the numbers, and the backside guard sealing. So you have a lane for the screening back. Okay? Now, again, like I said, you rep it, and that becomes kind of an automatic time. It just sets in. It sets in. Nobody has to slow the count down or anything like that. All right, now, the backside tackle, the off tackle, full-time protection. He just blocks. Okay, if we're utilizing the tight end in the protection, and there's a 3 technique on the guard, he can fall back in and pick up the 3 while the tight end stays on the outside guy, and you got one more less guy to worry about on the trail. Okay? Now, screening back, very, very important here. We want him in our protection, because we're a 5-step, 3-step rhythm type passing protection. Our back, when he helps the tackle, sets up inside, not upfield. As I'll tell you why. We got 2 of the best 3 techniques in the National Football League in our division, Randall and Seth. And so when that 3 techniques on that guard, we want that back in there to chip on that sucker if he shakes loose. If we whip the 3, he helps. So that's what he does on the screen. He sets inside that tackle just like he's going to protect, and he does have protection. If his backer comes, he's got to bounce the backer, get into the screen. Okay? That's another point. Pass protection first. If you're volleying or double ringing the backside and that guy comes, that guard's got to block him first, because screw the screen. I mean, if they're free and they hit your quarterback, you got no screen anyway. So pass protection first. Okay? Now that back should have enough clearance so that when he and the guard come underneath, there's no entanglements. If there is a jam in there, then he has to come around that time. He has to get the hell out. And we tell him, you get to a spot about 4 yards outside that tackle and 4 yards deep. And that's where you're going to catch the ball. Okay? Now we also tell him this. You're not going to go out there, catch the ball, and yell go. You're going to catch the ball on the run, and we're going to give you a reference point. Nobody has to say go. Everybody's got the same reference point. I'll show you here on the diagram here in a minute. Okay? Now the tight end generally has the far back. In other words, if you screen over there, he'll come down and roll off the middle back. He's got the second backer inside because the lead backer is the guy we're eyeballing for force by the lead, by the lead guard. Okay? So with that in mind, let me show you the diagram. I don't know if you've ever tried to diagram a screen that it looks like a foobar. Yeah, I'll tell you what that is later. I see there's a young lady maybe right here. But by the way, this offense has come from the West Coast, but since we're in the Midwest, we call it the Lake Michigan offense. It's no longer West Coast. It's either the Fox River or Lake Michigan. We've moved to the Midwest now, so you guys don't have to refer to it as the West Coast offense, unless you're from the 49ers, which continue to do that. All right, screen. Now, I drew the numbers in. I drew the numbers in right here, so you got the reference point. All right, now, that number is the reference point for the lead guard The back, all the people that are responsible for that running lane that we're going to try to establish down there. It's also the reference point for this guy here, because he's going to catch the ball over his shoulder, and he's not going to know where that guard is, but he's going to rally at the numbers and get down that lane. So if the theory's right, he catches the ball, there's a kick-out block. He starts down the numbers, he's going north and south, vertical. There's a kick-out block, a seal block, and that's his lane. Down the numbers. He's going to come down the numbers. If he gets lost out there, he's going to try to get back on the numbers. Now, there's going to be some things that are going to force him outside the number, obviously. If the trail man, let's say this guy here smells screen and runs lateral, he's going to force him wide because we can't get that backside trail man cut because he's recognized the play and he's running hard. Okay? Now, at that point then, everything should take effect and everything is fast moving. Nobody's slow. It's not a slow screen. It's the timing, the back rally in there, the kick out block. Now, this shows you here. There's nobody across the lead guard's face all the way out. Get vertical. Get vertical. Okay, there's no sense running out here and let that corner get inside you or the inside safety, whoever's got the force, inside you. All right, now, you say, okay, and this is, if you coach the perimeter, I mean, everything's black and white. If you're in here, shit happens. Everything doesn't come out like it's drawn up. So what happens is this. You can't tell the guard, you got the corner, he's on the force, because when this guy releases for the second level, he'll carry that corner, and that corner won't be there by the time the guard gets out there. So the guard can't come out, start looking for the corner, he's going to come out to his reference point. Now you've heard all the zone blocking, that's what this is. You're on a track. These are railroad tracks, and if something crosses the track, you block it, you hit it. If it's inside, you blow it off. If it's outside, you kick it out. So the defender can't be right if we operate on that premise right there. Okay? But that's the rally point. Now I made this notation here. Oftentimes this guy gets up off the ground and makes a tackle. So this trail man, when he reaches that point, 4 yards outside, he peeks back inside, picks anything off coming back inside. Nothing shows, he peels back inside. Okay? Now another common fault on screens are these two guys out here not finishing their blocks. When they go to the second level and those safeties come over the top, they got to wall them off. They got to block because that's when your big plays come. They'll hold on to their blocks. That's when you take it the distance. Okay? Okay, so keep those coaching points in mind because I'm going to show you some screens from different actions, and I'm going to comment when the guy does it right and doesn't do it right. And you'll see the difference in the success of the screens by the number of times they do it right as opposed to wrong. All right, now, first screen, and this should be the one that comes up on the film first, is off-guard drop-back action. This offense originated in the red formation, split backs, drop back, backs working opposite. That's the core to this offense. Okay, so one thing we do is we run the fullback into a pattern. We call this a Texas. Clear out on the outside. That's a big route for us. The tight end will come down in here and wall this guy off at times. So when they see that happen, that looks like that throw to them. The defense said, okay, 22 Texas or 23, whatever they call it on defense. Okay, so here's the common element of the screen right here. All right, he's uncovered. He sets to the tight to his tackle, first guy out. Okay, looks like the corner's forcing, bang, he blocks it. He's got the nose tackle. He takes the play side away from him, second guy out. Now, he's got a 3 technique, so he can't fall back in here behind the center, but he hits the 3, comes out, checks for the trail, then back up into the route. This is the blocking back. He sets up inside the tackle, comes out just a little behind the guard, uses the numbers as his reference point. Okay, that's one screen. That's probably one of our favorite actions right there. Okay, now we also use slide protection. All right, so we will simulate one of our slide patterns right here. Okay, you can see we're in a strong set here. This is what we call blue. Okay, we run this motion and we throw what we call flanker drive out here, which everybody that plays this is going to defend. So we run this down, step the back, it's going to slide protect up in there. Now we come out this side, strong side. Okay? Same deal. Onside tackle, take the deep set, make the cut. Guard, uncover, settle toward the tackle. First guy out, to the number. Center, block the nose tackle, release him away from screen, second man out. And then the trail guy, same deal. Outside, check inside, out. He steps up inside just like he's going to block for our slide protection. He releases in there behind the guard. All elements of the screen are the same. Different action to the defense now, but this is how we would run it out of blue. Now that's regular people on the field.
By the time you say slide screen, but you're not actually sliding to the center of the guard.
We try. Let me say this, Bob. If we can assimilate the slide, we will step that guard down, but not at the expense of getting the screen executed. We would rely on this action right here to pull the backers up or whatever you're going to do. But yeah, in answer to you, if we can make it look like the slide, we would step that guard in. If you've got a big offset there, we'll bang it. We'll bang it because that's what we do on regular protection anyway, and we're out. But that's a good point, yeah. We want it to look as much like the play we're simulating as we can. All right, now the bottom, we got 3 wides on the field. Okay, same action. Okay, we're in a trip set out here. Okay, we're going to motion that guy to the inside. Now he's going to replace what the tight end normally does and go in on that backer. And we're going to release the tight end up the field to occupy the safety as best we can. But same action. Tackle gets him up, 3 technique, first guy out. He's uncovered. He'll settle. If, in this situation, the question that Bob asked is legitimate too. He might settle back to give you the slide indication, and then he's out. Here's the 3rd guy out. He's up. Sets up so there's no entanglement. Comes out behind the lead guard, catches the ball, gets on the numbers, and gets vertical. Okay? Okay, here's another slide. All right, now this is with Y motion. This is what we've done here. We're just using Y motion. Now you recall the first one we ran, we lined him up over here and ran this motion. Now we're going to line him up over here, move into this strong set, run that same slide action, just like we ran before. Different look to the secondary. Different look to the secondary. We'll always assign a man to come down in there. Normally, it's the tight end when he's in place. This is not in place, so he's replaced by the outside receiver. Okay? All right, now, as you start to screen people, they start to key your guards. So here's what we do. We would run our wall draw action, and we would give them the indication that we're going to screen to the left. It's a double screen look to the defense, and then we'll 2-man screen you out here to the strong side. Okay, so what happens is he blocks, releases here to make it look like screen. He comes over the top like he would on a wall draw. He picks up that lead guard. He's out of the screen. So we're running a screen off of a wall draw play, which is part of our draw package. So you get a little play action or run action going with the screen now. All right, now here's the opposite. We've got left formation. We run this play. This is our wall draw out of red, left. Okay? Now that fullback who faked in here and released will become the screen man. The guy that came over the top on the right side now is going to lure, make it look like a wall draw or like he's running a route out here. Okay? And then we run the screen backside. Okay? Same elements though. First guy out, second guy out, tight end wall off the backside linebacker. Everybody in the front part of this, they don't care. All they have to hear is screen right, screen left, and they'll function. They'll function. Now, whatever we call in the huddle for the receivers and for the route runners will apply to whatever play would put them into that route. All right, now we go 4 wides. Now, this is a little different thinking here because when we initially did this, a wide receiver here in the slot, we try to get him underneath the tackle like we did the back. It won't work. There's too much traffic there. So what he does, he lets the tackle clear and he'll release outside the tackle. He'll release outside the tackle. Everybody else in the screen, same common components. Same common components. Okay? Now, what happens is these guys, because they're different than the backs, will have a tendency, and because they're releasing outside the tackle, have a tendency to get past that lane, and they kind of get on their own out there. Plus, they're a little faster, and they outrun our guys down the field. So they're not as disciplined in getting down the numbers, so to speak, as the backs are. But look, the common element is still there, still the same component. Okay, now here's the same personnel on the field. Okay, now what we'll do here is that man that we lined up in the slot here, we'll start across and get into a trips look, and he'll do what he did from this position, only he'll be the motion man, and we'll run the same screen. Release him to the outside, we'll scat him. In other words, there's a free release, it's like a 5-man protection, no back involved in the screen, he replaces the screening back. Alright, and then here is the motion, the one we just ran up on top. Run the motion this way, step the screening back this way, and then come back out on that side of the screen. Same common components right here, just disguising the play. One time we came over, through the screen, this time we come over, we screen away from it. Another way to disguise it, and it gets the ball to the back. All right, now, we also have a sprint package. In other words, a lot of times we'll line up in red left slot and run our sprint right and sprint protection. Okay, we'll run the screen off this. Now, the common element stays the same in here. We're going to try to sell the screen, but still get out in the pattern. The technical change is right here with your tackle, and that's hard to sell. We want to bring that in that he's on down in here, making him think it's sprint. But a lot of times they're predetermined to come up the field, so he has to fall out and do the best he can. This is tough technique. But after you've run this formation and they see you sprint, a lot of times that guy will flatten and you get the screen out. Now, obviously he's going to set up outside. Quarterback's going to sprint over, throw back to him. All elements of the screen are the same. It's just off a sprint action. So you see the consistency of those inside three hasn't changed. All right, now this is off of our flood action protection. This is our tight end in the slot, okay? And this is our other tight end. We got what we call an east look right here. Okay, now we're going to motion him, bring him across. Now, if he were staying in position here, this would be the weak side portion, you know, like a flood to the weak side. So all we're going to do is this guy. We're going to bring him across, motion him, step the back over here. All elements are the same. So that would be just a flood, off our flood action, be off our 70 series as we call it. Okay. Now after you run enough screens, anytime your guards separate or run to the outside, you have a tendency to learn coverage with you right here. So, what we're doing here is we're going to make it look like a double screen, block the end up, and wide delay it over the middle. So these guys are just going to split, they're going to go. Make these guys think screen, he's going to lay, make him think screen, he's going to lay the count, comes down over the middle, catches the ball. Now that's after you screen enough times that those guards will attract what we want in the way of coverage, and that will be your screen. Okay? Just keep in mind the common elements, and I'll show you here on film. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Just a little bit of dim light there so I can, that's good. Can you guys see that all right? Keep it there? All right. All right, this is that first one we talked about here. It's what we call 22 Texas halfback slow screen. I don't know why we call it slow, but he's going to run this Texas route, see, right here. Now watch the technique of the tight end right here. He's got the middle backer. So he's going to come down the field, circle the middle backer, block. Okay, now watch the elements of the screen. First thing that happens is they run an ET. So our left tackle who's trying to run up the field can't get it, so he pins it. Okay, in the process of running the stunt, he knocks the shit out of the left guard, so the left guard can't get out first, so the center comes out first. Okay, here comes the center, here's the number, here's his reference point. See, he's starting to descend right there. He's a little wider than you'd like, but he's using the numbers here. So he comes down, there goes the first force. Okay? Now the guard got tied up on it, so he becomes the center. So he's the second guy out, now he seals. See, he seals. Alright? Now, here's the key block, one of the key blocks right here. Here's your right guard. All right, he had a 3 technique on him. He blocked him, he released. All right, here's the trail. See, so he was running to a point 4 yards outside of here was the heat coming, he blocked him. Now watch the back. See, he's a little wide, but watch where he tries to get back. He tries to get back into that reference spot right down there. Okay? So the first thing that happens is you've been telling this tackle, hey, get him up the field, 7 steps, cut him. Well, shit, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So he has to respond. Okay, the second thing that happened, if you're telling this guy, you got first force, well, shit, he got hung up. Okay, the next thing you say is, okay, the corner should be the force. Well, shit, the corner's not the force. Here's the force. So by going to the numbers and running the track, I pick off first force, who's the backer, and the corner's carrying the route. He's going to the second level. Okay, but the reference points, that's key right here, see? This is a little bit, if you're getting nitpicky right here, he should have come downhill inside the number and had a better situation, but he carried it out. Here's the seal, here's the next guy, boom, there you go. Now this guy runs screens well because he doesn't trust his speed to try to beat everything outside, and he'll slow it down like he should. Okay, now we flip the formation. This is 23 Texas, halfback, slow screen right. Okay, now here's the cut, see? Now you got it, okay? Now here's what I'm talking about. See, you got to avoid any intent. He's got to come out of there clean. If I cut too early, this guy grabs the back and that happens, and generally the ball hits him in the head and goes up and they pick it off. So what he's going to do is he's going to avoid the entanglements. All right, here comes the right guard. Now this is where he's not trusting what we're telling him. All right, the corner's being carried right there. Now he's to the numbers. He sees the guy coming out. Watch what he does. See him flatten? Okay, so there's that theory we're talking about right there. That guy sees the ball, and he can go inside that guard. If that guard comes down the number, that guy's got to go through him to get to the back. He won't make it. Now the great thing is the back trusts the scheme. See, he's coming right down those damn numbers, right there. Right down those numbers. Here comes the center. He's got the seal. Now the backside guard doesn't have a trail. See, they're too far off the field. So he checks for trail. Nothing shows. He's up the field.
Tommy, put that back. Say the W linebacker would hang there and man, you know what I'm saying?
This guy?
You just hang. Did you double him with the guy in the center?
No, just the guard.
Just the guard.
And then the center would overlap him and go to the next level. Now, you'll see where this guy starts to drop and our guard already clears and the center will pick him up. But that's kind of a replacement idea, but it's still just like when we get on a track blocking. You just run your track, anything that crosses your face or gets in your way, you block. But this is the point here. See, he didn't trust the idea of coming down the numbers. If he comes down the numbers and gets that block, we got a pretty good play going here. See? All right. But that was just flipping that play over to the left side. All right, now we got 23, Texas, halfback, slow screen to the right again. All right, good cut again. There it is. All right, the back, no angle. Here he comes. All right, now here's a great example. All right, if I tell that guard, you got the corner all the way, well, look where the corner is. When he gets to the numbers, the corner is not a factor. So here now he's trusting the scheme. So now he's coming down that lane. He makes his block. The center, the second guy out, now finds the corner. He kicks it. Now the back's working like hell to get back inside. There he is. Now, why is the back wide? Because of the trail. Watch the trail there, see? This guy recognizes pretty fast, so he can't cut back inside now. We can't get to that trail man because there's our guy on him. This guy just recognizes the screen a little bit better, and that'll happen. So now the back's got to outrun him. He's got to outrun him. But as soon as he gets his key blocks, he's going to come right back down that number, and then he's going to try to get the ball in there. But there's a good example, and that's the same guard that screwed up the first one by being flat at the numbers. Now he's come out to the numbers, he said, okay, I'm going to get my ass vertical, and he's right, see? He makes the block, you overlap, and goes your back. Okay, now this is that slide action that we're talking about here, okay? We're going to motion Y, and we're going to get into a strong set, and we're going to run our slide protection concept here, see? Okay, now the tight end being in motion, we're going to replace him with the outside receiver. He's going to come down here and get that backside back. Right? All right, now here goes your tackle. Pretty good cut. All right, there's no entanglement. He's out. Looks like you got a play. All right, here's the guy that's going to be the force. See, it wasn't the corner. Here comes our guard. Now watch the guard. See? Again, he got a little bit too wide. Watch the center using the numbers as a reference point. Clean up. Boom. It's like the fullback on your 98 handoff solid. He cleans it up. All right, now watch the back. See? Now the back comes right down the reference point he gave him, saved his ass. Right down there, see? He's trusting what we're telling him. This guy is a little bit out of whack on it. Now the trail man, see? No trail. Turn. All right, now just run. Just run. But see again, the reference point. The reference point. The back knows he catches the ball on a run. Get back on those numbers. Get back on those numbers. All right, here's that trips now. Now this is going to be the same action that we just ran, only we're in 3 wides now. Okay, the motion man now is going to come down and replace the tight end. He should block. Now that's an outside receiver, and you're not going to get much. You know, all he has to do is wall him off. All right, the back sets up like he is in protection. Now, good move here. See, our tackle tries to cut him, can't do it, but he wheels on him, but there's no entanglement. So we're out here clean. We're out here clean. All right, now watch the guard here. See, now he's coming down that number. Perfect. See, now he's inside out. He's got the trap. There's the kick. All right, here comes the back right down the number. Here's the center on the wheel. There we go. But he's coming right down the number, see? Now this guard is a little bit better. He's coming out to the numbers. Nothing shows. He's going to descend inside the number. He's got the kick out block. He's back on the numbers. See, he's going to come right back down the numbers. Okay, now this is trips right. We're going to run F short motion like we did from the blue set. And he's going to replace the tight end. He's going to come on over. All right, he's going to set off here. Now, here's probably what you were asking right here, Bob. See, the slide, a little inside one technique, we're going to bang him. Now, they run the stunt, so it kind of screws us up a little bit right here. But we're still out. Now, here goes your tackle. Not a bad job. He's got the hands down. Here he comes. He's out there. Now, he's a little wide. See, he's a little wide, but let's see if he tries to get back. Yeah, see him get back in there? He's coming back inside. Now, guard's out. It's clean. Right down the numbers. Everybody's coming vertical, north-south. So he gets the lead. He's still got the first force. Now, got to run. See, got to run. There's like Shamu and whatever, out there, big whales out there sometimes. But pretty good by the lead guard. Good job by the back, getting back inside. Pretty good play. All right, now this isn't Tony Canadeo. This is just our old throwaway, you know, the throwback uniforms we had there in that one year. But this is F short, 2 jet. There's your cut. Okay, there's the back setting up, no entanglement. Now see, here, you'd like to say, okay, he's going to set his feet and then drift. Well, the good thing about our guy is he looks like he's under pressure all the time and he gets the ball out. All right, now here comes the guard. Here's the numbers. There's the kick. Right now, the junction's right where you'd like to have it. Kicks it. He comes inside the numbers. He overlaps, kicks out. Now he's got the seal. He comes back, gets the block right here. But here again is the key, see, the reference point. Write down the numbers. Okay, now you got to excuse all the video guys in this league are perverts. That's right. And you got to excuse our guys because in the frozen tundra you don't see this. You know. And in fact, our girls don't shave under their arms up there in eBay, so we know they're not at home. This is for now. All right, this is the wall draw screen. All right, Thursday, we're going to run our fake draw action, all right? Now, the fullback and the left guard are going to make it look like we're screening this way. So here we come out this side. Okay, when in fact, it's a two-man screen over here to the right, and the halfback's going to come over the top and get the ball. All right? The tackle doesn't care if it's wall or away. He's going to take you back, cut him at 7, and there's no entanglement. All right? Now here comes the lead guard. First force is the inside backer. Comes right down the numbers, gets the block. Now we can't get the trail man again on the backside. He recognizes the screen, see, and he makes it tough. We can't get him because our guard, who's the trail man, is gone. So he's going to put heat on that back and force him a little wider than we'd like. See, we can't get him back in the numbers because we've lost our trail block on the backside. But here again, see, we'd like him to come down a number. Now, again, he gets outside, look where he's going. He's hunting to get back inside the best he can. But that was off that ball draw action. All right, now we just flip it over. We're going to run it, this action, okay, but we're going to keep the screen on to the fullback side. Let the back come over the top. All right, here's your tackle. All right, not a real good cut because that guy senses it right there. Okay, lead guard out. Force. Now, this guy reads it pretty good too, so that really should be just about what man coverage would look like to him. So he sees it as in snuggling up, he goes right back in and blocks it. He's got to block it. All right, here comes the center to the outside. Kind of a replacement thinking here because the guard is going to go back inside and block the linebacker. Okay, but that's that lead draw action to the left side. All right, same deal here now. We got red right, we got a lead draw, what we call fake fox 2. Okay, now we're coming back out with the fullback to the weak side. So here's the fullback, comes down, sets up, comes out behind the guard. Okay, now there's that action again, Bobby. See that slide action? He comes down. Now he feels the heat. He feels one of these guys is the heat, so he comes back on it and actually probably wastes himself. But here the lead guard's out. There's the numbers. He's coming down the numbers. This is the overlap. Now this was Timmerman's first start, and so he's not as adept at finding that. But you can see he got out there and said, "Oh shit, I better get back on the numbers." You know, he looked like Shamu again out there. But the idea is he got the first force, but we forced it back a little bit wide. Okay, now this is the same action. Got the fullback backside. Got the over the top back coming this way. Now here's the situation where the tackle doesn't get the cut, but he gives us that throwing lane right there. And here comes the back out underneath the guard. There's your force. See, here he is on his way out right now, and he has lost this guy right here. It's not man coverage, so he's continuing to the numbers. Now watch the center pick up his block right here. Now here again, if they come out and hand him out here, we tell them start pointing, just like you do on punt detection. I got him. So the center kicks him, the guard works back up inside. Now this is Guy McIntyre, and he never has been a very good screen guard right here. But the point is, we got the reference point blocked, and look at the back. Go right down the reference point. See? Right down the reference point. There you go. All right. Now this is 3 receivers again. This is a double wing look over here, just a little different look on the back side. But here again, we're running 3-jet protection, which is our slide. Tackle engages the end. Now here again, see, since we're a 7 or a 5-step drop team, a lot of these guys figure they can't get up the field anyway, so they're going to give us a lot of bull rush or change up. So our tackles have to make that adjustment right here. All right, here comes the guard out. There's the reference point. Now they're both out there, and let's see how they sort it out. Pretty good job. See, now the guy never crossed the line right here, so the seal guy gets it. The guy that's got the first force gets down the numbers, he gets the next guy. See, now this guy got a little wide. If he'd have trusted the block of the guard, he might have got back up in here. Okay, this is the same. We got a trips we're going to weak bait the back now instead of the strong side slide. Bring him out this side. See, now we don't always get the cut, but we can get his hands down. Now watch the reaction. See, this guy right here, a lot of times, if he's quick enough, will make that play on us. But here comes the lead guard. He's already passed the linebacker who bit on the action over here, so the center seals him. Now the guard just leads him down the field. He's got to find somebody to block. And now he's looking for the numbers. Both those guys are trying to get back on those numbers right there. Okay, same thing here now. We got the weak side from trips slide. Now here's a good example of the backer probably being in man coverage, or at least recognizing the screen and snuggling up, and the guard having to make that quick block. But again, his rule says block whatever crosses your face on the way to the number, and that's what happens. He crosses his face just inside the number right here. A little wide again, but still working to get back. Now here's that screen with the receiver. We got 4 wides in the ball game. We're going to throw the screen at him. Now see, he's trying to get back inside, but most times he's going to have to release just out here, just for this reason right here. Now, but the elements of the screen are still the same. Here comes your guard. There's the number reference point. There's the kick. Here comes the center. Now, this speed here and the fact that he's already outside doesn't give this guy much of a chance, so he's going to stay wide and just try to outrun everybody down there. And you can see he's a little faster than our guy, so it's probably best that he does run like that. Again, he screen, same deal. Now here goes that end inside, so we got to pin him. We do the best we can. Now here comes the looping tackle out, but he's in pursuit of the quarterback, so he's non-factor. Here's that number thinking again. So he's out there. The back hasn't forced, or the backer hasn't forced. He just kicks it. Now we come right down those numbers again. Try to stay down those numbers. All right, now here's the motion. All we did was we motioned him over to that position where he was for the last screen, and then we throw him the screen. Same element though. Here comes the guard. There's the numbers. You send down the numbers, get the kick. Here comes the trail man, and there goes that guy right down those numbers as best as we go. Well, I'll tell you, these guys a lot of tape. Yeah. All right. Now, the action and the screen over here is a decoy, now screen to the back, outside the other way. See, now here's that lead guard again. That's Taylor. He gets out to the numbers, nothing shows. He says, okay, I'm going to get my ass vertical. He comes right down the numbers, makes an effective block right here. But here comes everybody to the rallying point, the numbers. So you're trying to get the job done at the numbers. Now the back was forced a little wide, but he was still effective. Okay, now this is the sprint screen right here. Okay? Now note, we block it just like sprint. We're going to say the end man on the line of scrimmage for the near back. He's going to cut him. Tackle's going to seal off the inside. Now they run a stunt here, so we ought to be, pick it up just like any other stunt. Now see, the tackle's trying to get him down inside, but the end's already committed up the field, so he does a pretty good job of just taking him up past the play. All right, here comes the back on. Now we got a little bit of a delay because of the screen, but the elements are the same. So here we come out on that lead guy. Now he should stay tight. So he's got a little wider over there. Okay, another one. Sprint screen. Okay, a little better operation this time. Got the cut. Now the tackle, because of the width right here, doesn't trust the fact to go down, so he's going to take him up the field. See, now watch him bump the blitz right here. Or bump the 3 technique on the way out. Boom. Just like regular protection. Yeah, I think this is okay, now this is the one where our 2 tight ends in the ball game. And when he comes back over here, this is our 70 series. In other words, we're flooding this way. If we had 2 backs back here, we'd be flooding this way. So he's going to come out and release like on a 73, as we call it here. He's going to set up inside. All right, now there's the number 30 again. So he starts his descent down the number, the guy crosses the number, he kicks it. So he's got a pretty good angle on him by trusting the idea that he's got to come down the number. Okay, now here's the trail man, see, another effective block right here. Comes out, gets outside the position of the original alignment of the tackle, makes the cut. And now you've seen this one a couple of times. This is 22. Now watch the tight end. This is a good one for the action of the tight end. So he's going to come down, work to the backside linebacker right here. Okay, this is the lead backer to the play side, so that's the guard's key right here. Okay, here's the number for you again. So you write down the numbers. All right, now here's the back. Get right back in there as quick as you can. You can design just about anything you want as far as the downfield throws are concerned, but those guards and centers got to be, we got to be consistent. Now this is that wide check metal. We're going to give you a double screen look. We're going to send the center and the left guard out this way, the right guard out this way to clear that inside out. Then we're going to delay the tight end, and when the middle clears out, we're going to dump in the ball. And he's going to take it up inside. Okay, that's it on the screen. Any questions? Yeah. That's a good question. We implement them against the error because and you know it, practice screens with the defense not aware of what you're doing. It's always screwed up. You can't get the end to rush up the field, or if you tell the end to rush up the field, the 3 technique goes it's a screen and he grabs your back, and it's, it just becomes a real screwed up drill. So what we do is we start against the error, make all those reference points easy for them. And then in our installation, during camp, we have what we call a 10-10-10 period. So we can pick 10 minutes as an offense to do anything we want to do, and generally every one of those 10-10-10s is a screen period. And now we can tell the defense what we want to do because they're cooperating with us. And then you rep it because you can see how that force changes. You gotta trust the fact that there are those reference points and you run to them. And somebody will be there for you to block. If the defense is sound, they're going to have a guy there jumping the screen. If they're not, you're going to have a big play. And then, like I say, don't overcoach it. Just run them. And when the head man's chewing your ass for being too slow, just tell the guys, hey, just let it go. Just keep working, and eventually they'll fall into place. Okay, that's a good point too, because our hashes are tighter and we use the numbers as a reference. I remember talking to the guys in Syracuse, their head coach was up talking about screens, and I said, you may have to change your reference points from the numbers. He said, no, they use the numbers and it works pretty good for college too. So that's a good point because there is a little differentiation. Now, even if we're on the left hash, we'll use the numbers on the right side screen. So we don't, that's not much variance doesn't bother us on that screen.
Work that in block. What do you tell your tackle?
Like on a fire zone?
Yeah.
Now the guard goes out and blocks him because he's the cover guy.
You don't have to have
If that happens, it generally means that he's going to take that curl. That's his responsibility. The big fat guy out there is going to take the curl. So our guard reads him as a backer, goes out and blocks him. Now that's happened this year more than last year. We got more fire zone this year. But that's what we would do. We'd treat him like the drop back.
After you do it on the air, in your 10-10-10 period, you do it against your defense, and how do you coach your guys?
We card them. Okay, we card them, and we tell them, we dictate the coverage. We tell the end up the field, and then that 3 technique, it's our period, so he's not trying to make the ball fly and knock the ball down and screw your drill up. But that's how we do it. And before we do that, we would take the line group over and simulate those drops. Might put a guard out there as the whip backer, another guard as the corner, and then sit behind him and change the force up. And then make the man call so that the guard has to come out and recognize it. And we do that, and that's about about what you're going to get out of your guy in a period like that. Then you take it over the air and you go full bore. You run your ass off. and then you put it together with the 10-10-10 period, and you run them in the ball. That's how, that's the method we've used. And then you got to commit to it. You got to commit.
The guard was jumping that 3 every time. Do you do that because you jump them normally, or do you want to?
It depends. What we tell him is it's approximate. If he's in a position where I can split his crotch, I'll probably jam it. If he's wider, I'm going to set off. Now, that's a good point to bring up, because this year we were jamming too much. Okay? And we were getting entanglements. We were jamming that 3, and when he came off, he grabbed the back.
Stopped him too good.
Too good. That's what that was. So what we're saying this year is, even if he's tight, give a little ground. Just give a little bit of ground. And then we're going to try to slow that backside guard down just a bit so the quarterback can have just a tad more time. Just a tad more time. But the thing you don't want to do is, since we're not a 7-step drop team, every time our tackle is a straight, so we got to make it look like what we normally do, and that means a lot of times taking that 5 technique, short setting it, and bringing it back. Anything else? Like I say too, the kid that was running the screens in '94, Edgar Bennett, is a very good screen runner. The guy we got now trusts his speed too much, and he doesn't use his guards as well.
How many screens would you have in a game?
Probably 3. Probably put a special one in the red zone. Something to take advantage of what they're doing down there. Or an action that we run a lot in that area.
You have 1 and 2 in base, 1 in nickel, and 1 in the red zone.
Probably. We wouldn't see. We're not as far as nickel. If we want to run a nickel screen, we'll come out first down with that group, force your nickel on the field. So it doesn't necessarily go by down and distance as much as who we want you to put on the field before the play, and then hopefully you'll do that. If you don't match up, then our rules should still take care of it, because you can only put so many people in the box and force with so many people. Okay, what we got time for draws?
Yeah.
Now, as I was saying earlier, you got to commit to the screen. You got to give yourself time, because what happens, and the places I've been before, is you pay lip service to the screen, and then when it doesn't go right, you start overcoaching it, and then when your guys run it, they say, well, let's run the son of a bitch and get on to something that works.
Total practice time, meeting time, walkthrough time in 1 day for the screen. Roughly. You meet with
If you're going to walk this,
you have a skill session, and then you have the practice period, that whole total time for the day. How much
okay,
is going to
once you put the protection in, it covers all the screen. So the first day you put it in, you take time on those 3 guys and how they get to the numbers and all that, and with the back. After that, that's taken care of. Okay. Now, once you get to the field, then I would take my group down and walk through those force and the man coverage and all their sets and all that. That would take me a good 15-minute drill period. I'm going to have to spend that much time on it. And then when we get to that 10-10-10, we would script probably 12 plays in that 10 minutes, and we'd run all those screens in that. Then we would show that film to them, come back out. If we put in a new screen and the ball handle is different, they have to go through that. But we would continue the repetition of this, our little segment, periodically. We don't have to do it every day, but it's a drill that you say, hey, I want to run it so many times a week. But to put it in the first time, it's going to take probably 15 minutes of installation. If you show film like this one here, it might take you you might use the whole, I use an hour if you want to show the film. And then once you get to the field, it's at 15 or another 10. So what's that, an hour and 10? But you have to commit to it. You have to want to do it. Okay. And our draw scheme, since we throw the ball so much, it's an effective weapon for us. We should do it more. Just a basic fullback draw, we should run it more than we do, because in the 7 years we've been there, it has been, it averages over 5 yards almost 6 yards of carry in 7 years. And we just, you know, we get to the point where we forget about it, I guess. But basically, our draws are quick draws. Because we're a 5-step, 3-step team, we're not going to go back 7 yards, delay it, and hand it to the fullback. We're going to come back and give it to him right now, okay? Now, our linemen, on certain alignments by the front, don't even look like they're running draw. If they can, their job is to flash the number, to indicate pass, and then jump the guy they're going to block. Now, in those fronts, we have different schemes. If the shades require a combination block, we'll make a combination block. Might be between the on guard and the center. Might be between the tight end and the tackle. Might be between the backside guard and the center. So when they come to the line of scrimmage, whatever linebacker or lineman dictates, we'll make a call for the blocking scheme, and I'll show you when we get to the reel. But basically, we're going to give that ball to the fullback quick. Now, our number one base draw, that's always been in this offense, is what we call fullback 40. Okay? Let's take let's take the 34. Well, we don't see that much anymore. But let's take the one we see most right here, 25. We use the same numbering system that Pat was talking about. 25 is an under, a 35 is an under with 3-4 personnel. So, you only exchange maybe a linebacker for a defensive end. Okay, 25 front. Okay, now, we're going to come back, quarterback's going to come back and hand that ball to the fullback. The fullback basically is going to, he'll align like he does for every run play, splitting the tackle's leg. He's going to take a little short set inside, and then he's going to read the blocking scheme in front of him. Okay? Since so many people play a heavy nose technique, almost on the inside of the eye of the guard, we use what we call a cob block. And what that means is the center is going to go on the back. Center on the back. Okay, now when this guy comes down, and he literally knocks this guy across the center stage. He's going to try to destroy that guy. Center's going to set back with a little bit of delay here, give him a chance to get on the inside linebacker. These two guys are going to base up. I mean, they got to block depending on where he is. If it's a wide 5, that tackle might show his numbers. And you'll see on film, sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. We tell them, don't worry so much about the technique, just block the guy on. Okay, now on the backside, we have an end man on the line of scrimmage rule. That means that the halfback will block the end man on the line of scrimmage. The tackle is responsible for the inside linebacker. Now what this is a net block, just like the guys were talking about on their zone principle. If he jumps a 3, he sets back, comes around, or if that guy's in a gap, they might combination block that, like a swap or a slip. That's their call. The pre-snap look tells them how they're going to run that play. Okay? All right, now the next most run front we see is what we call a 59 or an over. Now, these two guys here are going to communicate. If this guy's in a wide 9, he sees this guy in our normal passing game release, this guy's going to think pass, and that's what we want him to do. We can get that. We call that an eat. That's the end and the tackle on an exchange right here. We'll even do it to the point where we'll let him know this tackle's going to come out and block you, figure and pass, so that we can get that scheme executed right there. Okay. Now the on guard is the key block. He's going to set inside, and as opposed to being uncovered, he's got a covered guard. Okay, the guard is going to flash the numbers if he can, but he's going to block that 3. And we tell him to take him where he wants to go. If he wants to go outside, wheel him. If he wants to stay inside, the big thing is get on him. And if he's going to squat on you, drive him. Just drive him. Get in there, marry your hips to him, and drive him down the field.
Do you tell the onside tackle the same thing on the 25 defense as you tell the guard on that 3 technique?
Yes, exactly. If it's a 2, or if he's out, yes. Same deal. Like I said, if we can flash the numbers and make it look like pass, fine. If not, we're not going to worry about it. You'll see this play split stunts because it hits quick enough. It's like a dive play, basically the old dive play. Okay, now this backside, just like up here, this heavy set over here might require a slip. It might require the guard coming around on an if. Okay, Now here's your end man on the line of scrimmage rule again. He goes, gets him, he cuts the outside in. Now these two guys work whatever combination is best for them. If that's a 7 and that's a stack, they'll zone block that. They'll run that just like you run your bounce play. Same deal, same deal. Okay? All right, so the 59 front, you got the bubble over the tack. All right? Now I'm going to see if we got a 4. Okay, let's look at the 4-2, because basically the 4-3, is the same concept here. When the guard, what I'm trying to get to is when the center is uncovered right here. If the center is uncovered, then these two guys' combination will depend on where that guy's lying. If he's tight enough that the center can block back and the guard around will come out and choke. Okay? There's your eat block again with the possible. We call that, when we block the 7 and the buck back, we call it a gang. That's a gang block for us. Okay? Now here's your if. All right, here's your 4-2 where the center's boy. He'll always block backside as long as the tight end's in play. All right, here's the other rule we have. If there are more people in the box than we can block the weak side, we'll run it. And we'll try to let the furthest guy from the play go. If it's loaded to the play side, we give him to the fullback. In other words, the fullback would run that play back over here. So we're not checking out of it if you try to screw the box up on us, basically. Okay? All right? Now that's fullback 40 with the regular people on the field. Okay, now, when we go to our E grouping, we keep 2 backs on the field. We replace the tight end with a wide receiver. We split the wide receiver. Well, all he's done now is he has taken what the tight end would do and moved it out. So he'll generally take a defender out there with him. He'll take the defender out there with him. Clear the box out. Now he's responsible to block the guy in the slot. Everybody else on that inside has their same blocking rules. Okay? Same blocking rules. Save the end man on the line of scrimmage, block Mike. Okay? Here's your cob right here. Possible lift. That should be back on his backside. This is like an if. Okay? You don't have the tight end in place to run your eat scheme, so you base it up. But all we've done is remove the E man, put him in for the tight end and put him in the slot. Okay, now we can run it with 3 wide receivers in and a tight end in. And basically what you've got is the same thing. Now the halfback that was here is replaced by the receiver in the slot. Again, it should take another man outside the box. Now here's a better example. If they crowd the box, if that nickel guy was in the stack and we couldn't get him in the slot, we'd send the tackle up and let the end go. Let him go. So we don't have to come up and check out of the draw if we want to run the draw. Now all the same blocking schemes would apply along the board, whether you choke it, whether you cob it, whatever your scheme is based on the linebacker or lineman. And then here, to show you the versatility of the play, there's our 4 wide out look. Same play, same ball handling, clean the box out, run the same schemes on the inside. Same play. Same 5 guys, got all the calls and all the responsibilities that they would have if they had 2 backs in the backfield, 1 back in the backfield. It's a very versatile play, and we run it. It's probably as good a red running play as you can get. The 49ers run the power very well. We don't. So our best run out of red would be the fullback 40. Okay, now this play, halfback 40, we put in from the blue formation because on blue formation, one of our thoughts was we're going to come back over here with a weak side lead draw. And we started running quite a bit, so to take pressure off us, we put this in a year ago, 2 years ago. And it was effective for us. We ran it a little bit more this year. But all that is that we get into the blue formation, keep the same end man on the line of scrimmage rule here, and run it just like we ran it out of red over here. Same cob block, same blocking patterns along the front. Now you see it in green. The reason we put it in green was because we don't have much of a cutback threat out of green. Our backs, if you mention cutback to them, they're too quick to go backside. So what we did is we put that same draw action in, put him over here, let him read the guard, and he took it to daylight. A lot of that time we cut back, so you know, your cutback play, we get the same thing out of green off of draw action. And the reason draw action works for us is because we drop back and throw a lot. We're not a great zone block team because that's not our forte. Okay? But you can see it's out of blue. Same coaching points that were made to the fullback over here are made. The only difference is the position of the back as far as making the end man on the line of scrimmage block.
The tailback, is the tailback, the other defects, who does the tailback read, the end?
Which one, here?
Right.
Yeah, but he's going to slide over and do just like the fullback did right there.
Where do his eyes go?
He's going to see that box right in front of him. Okay, that's the first thing he looks at. Okay, now he's deep enough with the ball as opposed to red, but he also has vision on the backside. So it becomes essentially, if they over pursue it, a cutback play for us. And this guy's sealing the end just like you would on a green near or whatever you would do on the backside. We put it in late last year because we weren't getting anything out of any cutback action play we had, with our tailback or our fullback. All right, now these are the lead draws that you saw some of those screens come out of. Now this is basically a lead block play, just like any isolation. You're going to split the backside of the defense. You're going to either ace-add this nose tackle here or cob it, whatever the scheme is you want over here, and you're going to send the lead backer, the lead fullback through on the Mike backer. Now, one of the things we say to our fullbacks is because they are the lead blockers, locate the back that you're responsible for. And I'll show you why. A lot of times, a lot of teams, if they get the lead backer, in this combination right here, would send the lead backer for this onside linebacker and try to double team with this backside guy. To keep our assignment simple, anytime we run the lead draw, he's got the Mike back, period. No matter where Mike goes. Because believe it or not, we've had confusion on it. As much as you rep it, the fullback will come up in a game and his wires will cross, he'll have brain lock, and he'll go after the wrong back. So we keep it simple. We say on the lead draw, you have the Mike backer. Now obviously, on a 4-2 nickel front, he becomes the backside linebacker, as long as those guys are in place. So it's important that we identify that backer for our fullback. Now all that is basically a draw action, a lead block, and a ball carrier following the lead block, making it look like that. Now a lot of our play action comes off of that. So we'll play action. And so the linebacker's got to either, when they see that fullback come downhill, they either got to think play action or they got to step up and play the draw, and it gives us a pretty good action. Now, if it's in the draw category, these blocking combinations are up anytime. Anytime we can get a pass look here on that backer and that end, we think we've got a good play. Because then when he hits it, he's got a lot of options as to where to take the ball. We're just going to split the backside of the defense, just like an isolation play, give you a little draw action, and run the ball. Okay, now we'll also run that to the weak side. Okay, we call it Fox 2 and 3 run, that's strong side. We say Fox 2 and 3 weak side run. Now why you have to say weak? Is because now the fullback has to identify the whip linebacker. He now has the weak, because you've lost your tight end. So now he's responsible for Will. Whether he's on the line, whether he walks out here on the slot, whether he's in here, that's who he has to block. Okay? Now obviously on the backside, you pick up the tight end, so you're not going to split the backside of this defense. You're going to seal it off and run your lead play at the weak side bubble. That's where you want to take the ball. Now all your combinations here are in effect. Whether you choke it because it's an even, whether you cob it because you got the back, the Mike backer and the nose tackle to that side, or whether you again choke it on the even. So all those combinations are up. And like I said, when you come to the line of scrimmage, locate the backers, make your call, give you the scheme. So the scheme isn't always the same. Okay, and here's one that we don't run enough either. This is a kind of a draw trap action. We like to run it with our zebra personnel on the field, go trips to get the defense to overcommit, and then run a draw back this way. We used to set this guy back and trap the end, but that meant our tackle had to go down inside. And as soon as that tackle goes down inside, that end's going to come right off the ass of our tackle, and he's going to give our guard a headache. So what we want to do is give him the indication we're going to pass, draw him up the field, and bring the guard around. Now, the bad thing is, if you got a wide three here, that's a tough block for that guy. We just tell him you got to hog him, and we'll get that kick. I mean, he'll get that block, believe it or not. He's got to hold it, because that's a little draw action, and he's going to come up through for the inside linebacker. Okay, now what you see here is on the backside three. This guy, when he sets, a lot of times that three technique, our center can't get back on. So we make what we call a cow pump. Center goes on the wheel backer, and the tackle cuts the three. We call that cow. Tell you a story. We got Bruce Wilkerson, who is our backup tackle, stutters. So he got in a ball game one time, and he had to make the cow call, and he was going. He said, "Woo, woo." That's a true story. There you go. Couldn't get it out. You got the job done. All right. Otherwise, we jam it, and we'll just set off the three technique so we come back. That's all he's doing. He's holding off that B gap primarily. Okay, we just call it 15 or 14 draw. Now that's our draw game. That's all our draws, and we try to, because we're a throwing team, just like the screen, we think it's a good, good weapon for us. Cut those lights a bit if we can. Okay, now the first one we see, just turn them up like this and that so I can read this note I have in my hand. All right, now this is our 14 draw. This is the one where we go trips, get the nickel people on the field, and try to get the over-committed defense this way, over-shifted. Now here's the problem. This guy's cheating on the corner. All right, now we're trying to, again, lure that end up the field. He's having no part of it, see? So our tackle, who can't get him up the field, just drives it. Okay, now we're running what we call an ace-ad block. Now what we're doing here is we tell this guard, you knock the hell out of that nose so that the center can wheel on him right here. That's what we like to do. And then the guard's going to work back up to the backside backer. Our left guard's going to set for a pass, just enough. And then he's going to come up through for that onside linebacker right there. And now we watch it from end zone, you'll see what we're trying to accomplish. Now, because of the heavy offset, see, we're going to try to knock 97 over to our center. And our center is going to try to hustle him right there, just like that. Now this guy makes a good play. Probably a better scheme here would have been to bring him down and make that cow block that we talked about. Send him up through, like Boom was cutting that backside guy right there, then you'd have it. Because this guy actually gets the hand on him, see, right there. But they were doing what they were told to do. We're trying to knock his ass over, let the center take him, and then work up to that backside back. And we like to lead up through there and get the action. Now there's that corner that fell in there on that backside, but a lot of times we tell him, hey, we get you to the corner of the safety, that's your baby. We'll try to, yeah.
How many fell back? What's the back?
Okay, that's a good point. It's a counteraction. What he wants to do, he wants to give this guard a chance to get a relationship with him right there. He can't beat the guard. So whatever he does, and in this case right here, he takes a little delayed counter step right there. Now he wants to come right down in there behind the guard. See that action right there? That's what he wants to do. Follow that guard right up through there. Now, like I say, if we had pinned 97 better and cleaned him out there, he might have something right there. You know, he might break it down to here. It's just a miscalculation by the guard and center. I now notice I told you we're gonna give this guy an indication. We want to keep the big guy on the big guy. Now this is that eat scheme we talked about. Here goes the tight end. See? And as much as we throw that tight end down in here, this guy's gonna play something. See him back out of there. Okay, now the tackle got a little overcommitted and extended on the end. If he just stays inside, but he's effective. He's effective. Okay, now what we got here is we got a choke block going right here. We got the center blocking back and the backside guard coming up through for the middle back. Now here's that end man on the line of scrimmage drill. Here goes the tackle. Here goes the halfback. Now you'll see, let's see if we get any kind of a pass fake out of it. No, not much. Not much. Maybe a little here. See, we flash the numbers, not much. But here's that 3. He's just going to get into the 3 and drive it. So you get his hand inside just like any other good drive block, right there. Close his hips, try to get that hip marriage position, keep the base, drive his ass. All right, there's your eat scheme right there. Right there. Now, notice the back. He just shuffles inside and he hits it. And he hits it quick. It's just a quick hit. Now, if the backside guard could have finished just a bit better, he'd probably have even a little bit better play. All right, now this is that 4 wide situation right here. Got 4 wide outs. Okay, now they give us the box. They got 5 in the box, maybe 5.5 in the box. So we got a half for a half here. Okay, now we base this one up. Okay, now here's the example I was talking about. When you hit it quick, give it to you from the end zone and you'll see. See, they're going to run a stun in here. Right on the try. They're going to run an ET. Okay, what he does basically is he splits the stunts. He splits the stunt. See, now there's not much pass action by anybody here. It's just basically almost a quick dive or a veer play right here. But we throw a 3-step drop, 5-step drop, so that's all we need. That's all we need. But there's your split of the stunts. Now if the center is a little more active and gets the middle backer right here, we might have even a better play right there. Okay, here's the red. And here's your fullback 40, basic fullback 40. Now here's the base block. See, obviously you got a 5 or wide 5 and a buck. Now, another case in point. Now these 2 guys right here are basing this, and they blitz it. Okay, because he's reading the box there, he takes it backside. See, so you beat the blitz. See, they're stemming, getting situated. Now these 2 are base blocking that right there. Well, he pitches to run the blitz. Now, what you'd like that guard to come off quick enough to get him, but he reads it, sees the blitz, takes it backside. All right, here's another point. It's like we were talking about zone blocking, and you say, okay, if we're running a play over here and it was a bounce or whatever, it'd be nice if that guy could hook that guy, but that's not going to happen. So instead of trying to muscle him, like Pat was saying, instead of trying to turn him, he just stays on that board and drives it. See, that's all he's doing. He's got a drive block going right down that angle that he created, and that's an effective block. Now here's your end man on the line of scrimmage. Here's the tackle goes up through for the backer. Halfback, in this case the fullback, because we're in chain, makes the block there. Okay, now this is double weight. So we've got a queen, what we call an under nickel personnel on the field. Okay, now they're not going to run this time they're going to base block it right here. It's going to base block it. That's their call. Now watch what we're trying to do here. We're trying to cob it. See, we're trying to bring the guard down and bring the center around, but they're running their backside, so he comes out. Instead of coming around, he just recognizes it, squeaks up through for the backside. So we're going to come down. The idea is to come down and let the center come around. See, this guy doesn't bite that way. He's back in here. Now instead of the E block, he takes the angle, makes a man call, base call here, and that's the way we block that side. Okay, now this is fullback 41. Now here's your eat scheme again. See, here it comes. Now this is our backup tight end. He doesn't run. You know, he stutter steps in here, so this guy is going to eventually make the play. But your tackle just takes the end up the field. Now here's your choke block. Center works back. Guard comes around, blocks the middle back. Okay, there's your end man on the line of scrimmage. They show blitz, so our right tackle comes down right now and cuts off the backer, and the fullback takes the end up the field. So right here, he's choking it. He's going to come around. Okay, now you see a little bit of the flash of the number principle right there. If we can do that just enough, and it doesn't happen all the time, give him an indication that it's passed. And then take him where he wants to go. Okay, now, again, see there's 7 in the box. We've got 6 blockers. That being the end man on the line of scrimmage, a lot of times we'll roll the dice and let it go. We won't come out of the draw. We're telling the fullback, you see it, stay over it. Okay. You get underneath it a lot of the time. Again, we're man blocking. So a little bit of a pass fake. We've got the eat scheme going on this side right here. He takes it out. Now, if you see her hold up a little bit on the outside, you probably got a pretty good play. Okay, now this is the lead draw out of red. Okay, now what we got here, we got our ASAD block going here, and that nose tackle feeling that guard come down and attacks him, but we pin him. Now we send the center up for the backside backer, and we tell him, force him to go around you. In other words, don't let him over the top. See, he can't make it. He probably gets his ass chewed for going behind our center right there. Okay, now there's just a base block on that side, maybe a little pass set. See, maybe a little pass set. Now we're just splitting that back side of the defense with the tackle and the guard, and we're going to follow that fullback through. Okay, here's the blue halfback 40 look. No, this should be a lead draw from blue. And all we've done is move the back into a blue position as opposed to a red. Now, like we were saying, the key to running lead plays is right here, like that. This is right there. That's really what you got to have, a big old guy like this. Now, here's that same ASAD principle where we're going to shove the nose tackle over to the center and work up here. Now this is a big son of a bitch right here, boy.
Why are you doing that to the other team? Because they're nose?
Yeah, you can see who the guy is right here. But basically, what these guys have got to call. Plus, he's more head up. He's more head up. If he were over here, we'd send the center through. Pity. Since he's head up, we're just going to try to shove his ass back over here and then work up to the wall right here, and then lead on up through. Okay, now this is to the weak side. A little motion here off of that. You saw us run that screen off that action over here on this side. Now we're going to come down and we run a flanker drive route off this. We're going to get the defense thing. We're going to throw the ball over here, and then we just run a weak side lead draw. Now you can see the fullback is now responsible for the whip backer, not the Mike backer. That's important. Now these two guys switch to the middle backer. Now this is an if scheme right here. See, he's going to step around his center and lead up on the backer. He's got to locate the whip backer. He takes the 3 technique wherever he'll go. Now here's one of those situations, I think it was Pat talking about, or maybe it was Bob, about that combination block here. Instead of blocking him, the most dangerous guy in the box is here. We call it a combo. We would just bring the tight end here and send the tackle, and we might have a better scheme. See, we might have a better scheme for the play we ran. Okay, now this is the weak side, fox 3 as we call it. Now here's the whip backer. Okay, he really essentially is responsible for that guy, and he's looking at him as he comes off. Well, our receiver, in an attempt to get down here on the safety, has to block that guy. So they just replace each other. So he goes up and gets the safety. He just kind of cleans it up. All right, here's your cob block again now, see? Now we got a lead draw with a delay action. We're going to let the center come around the guard right here. Now they run a little stun in there that kind of picks off the two guards, but basically that's a pretty good job by the center of getting on the back right there. Okay, now here's that E group we talked about. See, we take the tight end now, put a wide receiver in, and we replace it with a tight end. Now we had this originally called to the weak side. You can see our fullback over here. This is the guy we like carrying the ball. Favre comes up and he sees the cheater. Look, there's no way, this guy going to come down in there and hit us in the mouth if he's going to blitz, so he goes over. So now Levins has to become the lead blocker, and Henderson becomes the ball carrier, and he's not bad. We just don't want this to happen too often. You don't want Levins having to take on the backer as much as that. But we made the overcall because you can see this guy cheat up, he sees it. So rather than run over there, he runs it over here. So now Levins becomes the lead blocker. Now this is what we call a ray block here. We're splitting the defense right here. These two guys combine on those two backside guys right here. Try to, again, split the backside of the defense. Okay, now this is that blue look, weak side, draw, lead draw. He's on the whip. Now again, see there's not much pass, maybe a little here. These two guys right here are determined by this guy's location whether they'll base it, or if that guy cheats any more than that, then they would go to a combination block in here, a slip block. But since he's got access to him right here, and he's got pretty good angle inside out, we just let it go base. See, in this action right here, this guy who's playing that flanker drive that we run out here, he's playing the pass, so he helps the tackles block. Okay. Any questions on the draw? How we doing, Bob?
Any questions? Some people have one question. One fucking question, so we have one question.
After you jump with 3 techniques and 5 techniques, nobody's got any questions. When you pull, when you come back,
Tom, you run out of green or lead draw?
Yeah, we do. We do, and especially in that E grouping, where we can balance up and they can't overplay the factor of our fullback being for the call side most of the time. We'll run that out of green as well as blue and red.
you see it.